Good evening, my dear friends. I welcome you all to the Businessline and the Hindu editorial analysis on August 10th, 2022. The first article I am going to discuss is with regard to fertilizer subsidies. The heavy burden of fertilizer subsidies from the government's budget outlays is just a very burdensome on the exchequer. The taxpayers' money are going awry with the subsidies, fertilizer subsidies being doled out by the governments. So the central government has to do its soul searching. Blaming the states for freebies is not enough. The central government has also to do its soul searching. In financial year 2020, the fertilizer subsidy was 81,000 crores rupees. Looking at this subsidy amount, the financial year 2021, the subsidy was fixed at 71,309 crores. And the financial year 2022, the subsidy was fixed at 79,108 crores. However, it turned out that the revised budget estimates means the after the actual expenditure has been incurred, the government goes back to the budget estimates, the original estimates which had been made, and makes changes and revises it. So the revised estimates of financial year 2021 turned out to be 1.28 trillion, that is 1.28 lakhs crores. And for the financial year 2022, it turned out to be the revised estimate turned out to be 1.4 trillion, that is 1.4 lakhs crores rupees. See how huge 77 to 80 percentage increase in the budget estimates itself forms the revised estimates. This is a very huge burden on the exchequer. This year, the sowing season is going to start. As we have learned from the previous discussions and the editorial analyses, this season is going to be the Kharif season. In this sowing season, the government had estimated a fertilizer subsidy of 1.05 trillion, that is 1.05 lakhs crores rupees. The government is going to add, when the sowing season is going to start, the government is going to add 1.1 trillion, again 1.1 lakhs crores rupees again to be added to make it totaling 2.25 crores rupees, that is 2.25 trillion. This huge amount is more than Prime Minister's Garib Kalyan Yojana, which is just 1.7 trillion, that is 1.7 lakhs crores rupees. And it is also more than the food subsidy of the government, which is just 2.2 trillion, that is 2.2 lakhs crores rupees. Friends, there is something wrong. However, the central government cannot be blamed because the supply shocks emanating from the Ukraine war and the China's lockdown, where we are getting fertilizers from, we are getting mostly the fertilizers from China and Russia, and the war is creating some kind of bottlenecks in the global supply chains, and the prices go on increasing. So central government cannot be blamed. However, the successive central governments have not done one thing. It would have made the inflation rated increase of the selling price of the fertilizers, which it has not done. None of the successive central governments have done this. It would have raised the prices, the selling prices, so that the industry gets the recovery of the cost price of the production of the fertilizers. You know, the urea, the key fertilizer, is selling at 1/10 of its cost of production. The urea per 50 kg is actually, the cost of production is 3,500 rupees. However, it is selling below 1/10 of its, 1/10 is 350 rupees per 50 kilogram. However, it is selling at 300 rupees per 50 kilogram. That is half quintal. 300 rupees per half quintal. So who is funding the balance? The 90% of the cost is through the subsidy. Another fertilizer, the D-ammonium sulfate, which is 65% is financed through the subsidy. All these subsidies are showing that the manufacturers are compensated for the difference between the cost price and the selling price. The government should have increased the selling price of the fertilizers depending upon the fertilizer price increase and the inflation, which it has not done. Government can do one thing now. The subsidies can be, after increasing the selling price, the subsidies can be directly transferred to the farmers. The government has already tasted success with Krishi Samman scheme and Ujjwal scheme, in which the direct benefit transfers have been very much successful. So government can think of doing that here also, the direct benefit transfer of the fertilizers. The heavy burden on the exchequer and taxpayers' money going waste like this can be reduced. See, subsidies are financed by taxpayers' money. A prudent decision with regard to this, if not taken, this will overshoot the budget costs. Always the budgets are not being achieved and it is overshooting the budget. This has to stop. So direct benefit transfer after increasing the selling price of the fertilizers is the only key.